Baruchim Habaim. Moshe Langado speaking under the auspices of Kollel Avat Yisrael in San Diego, California, and Sha'rei Tziyon here in Brooklyn, New York. My friends, this week we read Parshat CHUKAT. At the end of the Parsha, there's a description of a battle which takes place between Klal Yisrael and two kings. One is Tziyon, and the other one is Og Melech HaBashan. Previously, when a battle took place, Moshe Rabbeinu would authorize Yoshua to take care of the battle. He would fight, and Moshe would be outside of the actual battlefield. As we've learned by Amalek, Moshe went up to the mountain with Aaron and Hur, and he lifted up his hands in prayer at the time of the war. But here, Moshe Rabbeinu himself takes an active role in the fight. And more so, according to the Midrash, he is the one to kill Og. God tells him, don't be scared. And Moshe girds himself and he kills Og. And how Chazal tell us he killed him is amazing. That Moshe had to take an iron rod, which was 10 amah, and had to jump 10 amah. And he just hit his ankle. It was like David and Goliath. And Moshe was the one who killed Og Melech HaBashan. And when we go and look in Devarim, before Moshe speaks his words of Musar, his words of Torah to Klal Yisrael before they enter into Eretz Yisrael, the Pasuk tells us this was done after that Moshe killed Og Melech HaBashan. It seems like that was a important event in the travels of the desert. And more so, when we say Hallel HaGadol, every Shabbat, Hallel HaGadol is 26 Ki Le'olam Chasto. Let me read it to you. Hodu Ladonai Ki Tov Ki Le'olam Chasto. Then we go and we say, Ve'yarog Melachim Adinim Ki Le'olam Chasto. Ve'sichon Melech HaEmori Ki Le'olam Chasto. U'le'og Melech HaBashan Ki Le'olam Chasto. 3 verses out of 26 are what? Are specifically discussing these kings. How come? What was the tremendous power of Og and Tziyon? And let's focus in today on Og. And Tziyon has a similar history. But Og, according to Pirkei Rebbe Eliezer, was a very powerful man, but not a real man, because he had some angelic DNA in him. In the end of Parshat Bereshit, we have a story of Nephilim, of great men of stature. Who were they? They were children of angels. 2 angels specifically complained to God. He said, God, why did you create man? He falls to vice. He's not truthful. He is tempted and he loses and he gets seduced. And God told these 2 angels, my friends, holy angels, if you were also put in that situation on the physical earth, you'll also fail, and maybe even worse than man. And they said, try us. And God took the dare and put the 2 angels on earth. And the 2 angels were tempted and seduced and fell to the seduction of the daughters of Cain. And they weren't able to control the urges. And they fathered sons. And Og Melech HaBashan was the grandson of one of these angels. And when the flood came, and Noah had prepared the ark and the animals, and the rain started to fall, Og all of a sudden realized, God is going to destroy man. And he remembered what his grandfather had dared God to do. And tshuva went through his body, and he grabbed onto the ark, and he asked, and he pleaded with Noah, please give me something to eat. And Noah, from the kindness of his heart, gave Og food to eat. And he was the only descendant of Cain which remained after the Mabul. He was a pre-Diluvian creature. He had the power to do things which no other man had at the time. But it came from Tumah. It came from Ta'avot. And now, when Bnei Israel was coming and exalting the power of Kedusha, the power of Tumah had to be broken. And the leftovers from pre-Noach times had to be destroyed. And that was the job of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu would destroy and kill the remaining evil from the time of Noach, and that was Og. And that is why it became such a powerful time when Moshe himself killed Og Melech HaBashan. And that's how come in the book of Devarim it tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu only was able to speak words of Torah and Musar on the entrance of Bnei Israel into the land only after he killed Og Melech HaBashan. Bnei Israel stood for Kedusha and stands for Kedusha. And our whole experience, our whole Hatzlacha is based on our connecting to Kedusha. Through Kedusha, we're above Teva, we're above nature. When Bnei Israel were at the sea, at the Red Sea did not want to open because we did not have Torah yet. But once we had Torah, we had the power to arise over our natural tendencies and the natural tendencies of the world. Can we imagine young men studying in the yeshiva between the ages of 20, 15, 30? These young men have urges, have ta'avot, be it corrupt urges, be it urges for money. What are they able to do? They're able to subdue them and sit day and night studying Torah. Isn't that Koach HaKedusha? Isn't that what Kollel is all about? To be Kadosh and to have the power of Kedusha rule their lives. My friends, that is the fight between Moshe and Og. Og was living with that power of Tumah that could destroy the world. Moshe was with the power of Kedusha, which could build the world and prepare us, Bezrat Hashem, for Biat HaMashiach very soon. Shabbat Shalom.